Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is Eric Reed. This is Success Life Live. We gather here each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Why? Because that's what we do to get this thing going in the right direction, to move our life in the direction we want it to go. So I'm so glad that you take time out of your morning to jump in and join me and be a part of this Success Life Live. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Teresa. Got to put the old people glasses on. Sorry, I'm a little late. Good morning, Dan. I know I've been building up the anticipation for the February challenge. Good afternoon, Carl. Thank you for rescheduling. Good morning, Elizabeth. So many of you jumping in. I do appreciate it. So why do I do Success Life Live? And it's interesting. I was sort of talking to somebody about it the other day, and I think, and I'd have to figure out a way to go back, but I know we're into year 2, maybe almost bumping up sometime in February, March of year 3 of doing this pretty consistently every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, with the exception of Christmas morning and a couple others. Why? Because it is my passion to add value to others and be a catalyst of change. I love seeing people spark. I love seeing people understand their greatness and their potential and the possibilities in their life. Years, like 20 plus, somewhere in my life fell into the quote, imagine the possibilities. And when I worked with youth at risk and when I worked with families in crisis, that was sort of one of the mantras I just kept using, was just imagine the possibilities. If we get this taken care of, just imagine if we get that done. Just imagine if you went to school. Just imagine all the possibilities that exist for you. Because I knew if I could get them to imagine it, I could get them out of the present condition and into a future state. And in that future state, we could create whatever we wanted, and then we could begin to move towards it. So imagine the possibilities has been my personal thought, my personal mantra, and has always fueled my life. And so that's why we do Success Life Live every single morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, is because I want you to begin to imagine the possibilities that are possible in your life. I want you to believe your awesomeness and then step into it. I want you to take an idea and go, so why not? Why can't I? Eric said I can imagine the possibilities, because as soon as we imagine it, and we know this from Think and Grow Rich, as soon as we can think it, we can achieve it. As soon as we can think it, we can make it practical. As soon as we step out of our present condition, change our consciousness, we create a new condition around us. And it's sort of the February challenge. The idea that I had this idea, and we've done it a couple times. If you've been following me last year, we did something similar. And this year I sort of wanted to change it up, and I saw it and I discussed it with somebody, and she's like, oh, I can do that. Give me 5 minutes. Boom, done. I'm just joyed. Ooh, I like that. I'm just joyed that it's here and it's live. And so, yes, I'm going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to keep teasing you for a minute, because you got to share it out so everybody can learn. But before we dive in, I want to sort of set it up with the idea that, our words have power. And as I was thinking this morning, I sort of said it really has, got to look at my grandpa notes here. Our words transmit power. Our words reveal our character. Our words determine our rewards and our judgments. And our words produce fruit. And so when I think about that, transmit our authority, the words that we use define our authority. And you've heard that, somebody saying, well, the boss asked me to tell you. Those are just words, but whatever comes after it defines their authority, defines the power, the impact, the value of that statement. Or, you know what, I'm the president of the company, so therefore, those words stating I am blank, the president of the company, I am here on behalf of, I am the parent. We use those to define our authority, and what comes behind that carries power. So even in the most small sense, our words have power. And then I was thinking about that idea that they define our character. Statements like I can't, I won't, it never defines us as weak and hopeless and not believing and having faith. Our words define our character, like, have you heard about so-and-so? Let me tell you what, the gossip, form of character. And then I started thinking about our words are our rewards and judgments. It was like you'll be judged by the words you used. Or even taking the Fifth Amendment, learning to stay silent so that you can remain clear in thought and clear in purpose and defend your position. Words are so much of, and words are our fruit. I think of my kids, and sometimes they'll say something, I'm like, whoop, they must have been listening in the car when that other car pulled out in front of me. But they also, my son and my daughter reflect the things they speak over them every day, the words that they hear around them, the thoughts that I channel from my mouth or from my head into my mouth, they become. When my daughter was little, her arm, because she has cerebral palsy, was like trapped, like back in here, and it was all like this. Like, to get it from here to here, I would have to work up a sweat, literally like trying to pull her arm down, opened, and then stretch out the fingers. I would have rather taken 20 minutes of boot camp with, an ex-Marine. The amount of energy it took. But the goal was that every time I could get it open, every time I could get the hand turned, every time I could get her fingers, I would say, you are beautiful. You are smart. You are intelligent. I would pick 5 things, and I would touch her fingers, and I would say it out loud. And after a while, what happened was whenever we would sit in the rocking chair, and again, she was, like 6 months through 3 years, we would sit in the rocking chair, I would see her begin to try and pull her own arm open and try and force her own arm into extension and then open her own hand because she wanted to hear those words spoken over her. Now, today, it's still slow, it's still clumsy, it hangs at her side, she can make it work a little. But the idea that those words of affirmation, those words of encouragement, those words of speaking over to her in power, she sought out. Like I said in the beginning, I go, and then it goes through it in beads of sweat. Over time, we would lay down and we'd be rocking and do it, the pre-bedtime thing, if you're a parent, and I would see her force and push and just like try and get it open. Those words, the power of that word, physically, spiritually, intellectually, all began to flow through her and began to transform who she was and what she was available to. And I always spoke in the positive sense and in the complete sense. You're beautiful, not you need to be healed. Your arm will be fixed. You're not broken. No. I saw the finished state, the done state, and that's what I spoke. And so that's what our February challenge is about. Da-da-da-da! Drum roll. So, we've done this in the past, the I am statements. I believe, as a coach and as a speaker and somebody who works with families in crisis, kids in crisis, who's been in this industry for 20 plus years in some form or fashion, that if I could take all of the help books and the spiritual teachings and the thought leaders, all of the problems, all of them really come down to the belief in who we are, who we see ourselves as, that ability to love ourselves, that ability to value ourselves, because when we love ourselves, we don't get jealous. When we love ourselves, we don't act out in anger and frustration. We respond from a different place. We interact with the world at a higher level. We become people of service because we love ourselves enough that we want to give away love. And so February, tomorrow, in case Miss Melanie shows up and she's like, everybody's calling February tomorrow. Anyhow, tomorrow begins February. I want to make February your month of love. I want to make February resonate with love. I want you to express and experience love at a level internally every single day throughout the month of February. Don't worry, you'll survive. There's only 28 days. Thank God it's not like January that has 31. Those last couple days would probably kill most of us. And in order to do that, we're going to be using this. Okay, see, I love the fact that I got the camera thing finally figured out. It says I am around the outside. Inside are 28 lines. Each day, we did this in the past using the sticky notes. Each day you'll pull out your I am list or your I am part and you'll pick a word. I am courageous. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am loving. I am kind. I am ambitious. I am curious. I'm adventurous. I'm a risk taker. And you'll write it in there and then you'll think for a moment and you'll look at it and you'll meditate on it, so to speak, like I am curious. Curiosity serves me well. Curiosity is what excites me in the morning when I read a new book or see an idea or get involved in a new project. I am a curious being, and today I will live more curiously. Curiously? I'm going to use that word. And then tomorrow, or February 2nd, you might pick, I am loving. And you'll look at the thing and you'll say, I am loving. I am loving to myself and to my family and to my kids, to my pets, to my coworkers. Today, I will look at my calendar and ask myself, how can I be loving at each of the appointments that I have scheduled? What would loving look like in each of those appointments? And then the next day and the next day, and so you get it throughout the 28 days. We'll be doing this. There is a little bit of an explanation worksheet. No, you can't read it now. I know that. So you're going to be like, Eric, where do we get it? How do we get it? Just go to ericgreed.com/February 2019, and you'll get this, and then you'll get this, so you can download it. Keep it in your, I would keep it in my journal or my day timer or whatever you call it. We're in the center of your desk. And what I really want you to do, and we're going to do it together as well during each of the teachings through February, is to pick a word, see the word, know the word, and then look at your life and say, okay, I've got to be at the PTA meeting, or I've got to be in the board meeting, or I've got to be doing this and this today. And today the word that I am would be bold. How am I going to live into thatness? How am I going to first honor it within me? And then how am I going to express it into the world around me? What does bold feel like? What does bold look like? What does bold act like? And then, like I said, the next day you may put reflective. What does reflective feel like? First, honor, I love the reflectiveness, or my reflective quality, or I love me as a reflective person. What does that feel like? What does that look like? How do I express that into the world today? Because when you start to value you, when you start to see your qualities, when you start to see your greatness, it becomes so much easier to see it in other people and other opportunities. It begins to have this echoing and rippling effect. It begins to fruit other trees, so to speak. But so often we go through life and we don't even know who we are. We haven't even learned to love ourselves. And, you know, the grocery store, I think technically the day after Christmas, started putting up candy hearts and Valentine stuff. And we're going to have that Valentine's Day, that February 14th, where we're all about love. Not shaming on it. But we need to really take it to the next level, because we're next level livers. We're people that go to the place that other people have backed down from. We're the ones who are here because we're growing, we're achieving, we're becoming more than the environment that we live in. We know when we change our consciousness, the conditions around us change. And this is a tool to begin to change our consciousness. Now, my kids are going to have one. And we're going to work on it together as a family at dinner. If I was a team leader, I would download them from my team and have my team work on them each day. You know, if I was a school teacher, I think it would be a great experience to have your kids do it, and then at the end of February send it home with their parents so the child could be seen through the child's eyes. Sometimes as parents, we have our warped perspective. Because I always say my daughter is stubborn. She's courageous. So there's a lot of uses for it, and who knows, at the end of February when it's all filled up, there's only 28 spaces. You may decide, I'm going to hang this up where I can see it every day to remind myself when I'm struggling, when I'm stuck, when I'm having bad days, who I really am, not what the world says, not what my bank account says, not what the rejection that I just got in the mail says I am. I know who I am, and I love who I am. So again, you can pull that down at ericgreed.com/February 2019, all one word. If you go to ericgreed.com, you're not going to see the jump link because it's a back page to my website. So again, you have to remember the hashtag, or not hashtag, /February 2019. My hope, my wish, is that you will start tomorrow morning with an I am statement. And that as you move through the month, you'll begin to discover who you are. And part of the lesson, and you'll read this in the instruction manual. Yes, it has to have an instruction manual because my high C personalities would be asking me, what do I do? My eyes, they're kind of like, oh, this is going to be fun. I can't wait to hang it on my bathroom mirror where everybody can see it, or outside my office door. My D's are already going to finish out. These are disc profiles, by the way. The D profiles will already have it completed on February 2nd, because that's what D's do. And my S's will be walking around asking everybody else what they should do, and if theirs are okay. What I want you to do is do it your way. Do it daily. Do it in quiet and solitude. But I don't want, I get to be the boss because it's my idea. I don't want things like, I'm a loving mother. Because that connects you to a role, and that role and that value is determined by somebody outside of you. Now you can say, I'm loving, I'm kind. Don't say, I'm a courageous leader. Because that leader ties you to somebody else. Avoid titles and roles in links. Because these are things that start and grow out of you. And if nobody else existed on the planet, if you were completely alone in the universe, these qualities would still vibrate from you and not require a place to land to be expressed. Does that make sense? Thumbs up, happy face, smiling. I am kind without needing a place to show kindness to. I am loving without having to have an expression of lovingness to somebody. So the statements of I am exist within you. Now, yes, I want you to sit and say, yes, I am loving. And maybe reflect and, visualize a moment where you were loving, and to yourself or to somebody. Find that feeling of what loving feels like. Let it get warm and bubbly and, all churning inside you like good coffee. And then ask yourself, looking at my calendar, looking at my day, looking at the things that I know I'm going to be doing today, because we're going to be doing stuff throughout the month anyhow. How can I show lovingness? Where can I show loving? And if you want to take it to one step next, because why not? At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I fulfill who I am? Was I in alignment with who I am? And this morning I said I am loving. And I saw myself as a loving being. And I said I want to be a loving being and express loving into the universe. Did I do that? Now here's the coaching tip. Y'all get this one for free. If the answer is no, that's why you lack motivation. That's why you lack drive. That's why you go to bed exhausted and wake up avoiding life. Because you were out of harmony. You were out of alignment. You were non-congruent with who you said you were, and you went wandering way over here, whatever, doing the thing that you weren't, and that gap exhausted you. Over here, you had your perfect and ideal and divine self, and you went wandering off the path, and in that journey away from yourself, you became exhausted, you became frustrated, you became unmotivated, you became disillusioned, you became angry and hateful. And so at the end of the day, if you can't say, you know what, this morning I said I am bold. I felt my boldness. I saw my boldness. I connected with my boldness. I identified my boldness in me, and I said I was going to live into it. And I did. I guarantee you, you will go to bed being like, I feel good about myself, and I love my life, and I can't wait to wake up tomorrow morning and do it again. All right? So I see Melanie, my parent coach extraordinaire, jumped in. We're doing the I am starting tomorrow morning. You're going to have to watch the whole replay thing. It's a little, see, look, I feel like a school teacher. I got like colors, and I got like, this is like a worksheet. So it was funny because I saw this in my head, and I was like, I have no clue how to do these things. I really am bad at like these kind of things. And I told somebody, and they're like, oh, piece of cake. I'm like, really? Piece of cake? They were laughing at me like, that'd take 2 seconds for a school teacher to do. I said, really? And she said, yeah, I'll get it to you in a minute. Boom, there it was. And then I had to do the write-up. I had to do the writing that goes with it. So into that, I want to add, when we are in this mode of success, when we are creating new lives, when we are transforming ourselves, we often feel like we have to hide it from the world because if we fail, they'll notice and they'll laugh. I would have failed at getting this to you today in the way that I wanted it, the vision that I had set, had I not spoke to somebody else about it, had I not just tossed it into the universe and got a response about it. And so I believe that the creative, the divine, the God aligns us in places to grow and learn, to learn to humble ourselves and ask for help so that we can understand on the small things what it feels like to ask and to receive so that we can have a vision of the bigger things. So if you're trying to do this growth thing, if you're trying to do this transformation thing, if you're trying to build a new life, build new business, new relationship, new finance, new fitness, and you're not asking, yeah, you might receive. But wouldn't you rather be certain you will receive? Ask, and it shall be provided unto you. Ask, and you shall receive. Whatever you call it. I'm sure every faith has a statement equal to that. And that's why at the end of these, I'll often say, I'm a coach and I'm a speaker. If I can be of service to you, let me know. I'm saying if you have been sitting on the fence and afraid to ask, like, hey, what would it cost? What does it take? What does it need? And you have allowed the fear of asking to stop you from receiving, you need to fix that today. Not if with me, fine. If somebody else, then get it done. Because the fear of asking is stopping you from receiving, not the fear of not getting it. Because she could have said, I don't have time, I can't do that, I'm sorry, it's just, What it did was, it freed me up to write the writing part, and then it also gave me knowing me, 20 hours of not having to fiddle and twist and figure so that I could be of service to somebody else and teach them something. And I got the opportunity to do that. And when I got off the phone with them, they were like, oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. I appreciate you giving me that. Yeah, ask and be certain to receive. But don't be afraid to ask. Trust me, my kids aren't afraid to ask me. So one more time, we'll be starting tomorrow morning. This is the little heart because of February and it's red. And then it has 28 spaces so you can write a word or a character trait each and every day. There is the instruction and all of that. 2 pages he produced. And all of this will download as a PDF for you if you go to ericgreed.com/February 2019. So it's written, and if you go all the way to the bottom, it says click I am, and you get the PDF, and then you can download it and print it out. You can share it. You can give it away. I don't care. Give it to every student in your classroom, every team member you have. Maybe you're a Bible study group or a study group, or spread the word. Spread the love. That's it. February is all going to be about magnifying and growing love. So let's get it done tomorrow morning. Don't forget tomorrow, Randy Wheeler in the house. I am so excited about that. He is going to be a Fun Friend Friday guest. If you get a minute today, find him on Facebook, Randy Wheeler. There's probably going to be another post about him later today. Just tell him, give him a little encouragement. He's texted me a couple times saying, I'm scared, I'm nervous. I'm like, good. That means it's going to be great because you want to make sure you fill that gap with value and wisdom. So join me tomorrow morning for Fun Friend Friday. Buenos dias, Damien. I need to talk to you soon. We miss you. We miss you. And AJ is growing up so fast. But tomorrow, Fun Friend Friday. Tomorrow we'll take just a minute and go over the I am sheet. I think, so down here, I'm just going to tell you now. It says you can't share or duplicate without permission. You just got permission. For those C people who are going to be like, but he said, but it says, I said you have permission. It's recorded and it will be up on YouTube and by later today so you can make sure it happens forever. All right, well, I will see all of you guys tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern for Fun Friend Friday. Again, check out ericgreed.com/February 2019 for the PDF version of what this is so that you can begin tomorrow morning, February 1st, showing and sharing love. And just let's make February about love. January was hard. It's cold in some places. We'll warm up the world starting tomorrow morning. All right. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, everybody else. Glad to have you in the house. I got to jump. It's a busy day ahead. If I can be of service to you, if you have an ask of me, I am here to receive it and see how I can be of service. So don't be afraid to ask. Again, I do a lot of coaching and I do a lot of speaking and consulting with people about brands and ideas and thoughts. And so just putting it out there in the universe. That's all I did. Till tomorrow, go out and live your life with success. You are worthy of it. You just need to step into it. All right? Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.